What happens when a lonely girl in a wheelchair, a widowed father, his little daughter, and a mysterious stray cat cross paths and end up changing each other's lives forever? Eva Lancaster had spent most of her 22 years trying to be invisible, but after the accident that left her in a wheelchair and stole her mother years earlier, invisibility became her prison. Her father, Richard, was wealthy, powerful, and almost always absent. His love replaced with expensive gifts, his silence filling their grand but empty mansion. On the day of her 22nd birthday, Ava sat at Sweet Memories Bakery staring at a small vanilla cake she had ordered for herself, tears burning behind her eyes, when the bell over the bakery door chimed and in walked Daniel, a kind-eyed carpenter, holding the hand of his 6-year-old daughter Lily. Trailing behind them, as if it owned the place, was a stray white cat with emerald green eyes that had been lingering near Eva's house for weeks, almost like it had chosen her. Lily squealed when she saw Eva's cake and, without hesitation, wished her a happy birthday. It was the first warm, happy birthday Eva had heard in years, and something inside her shifted. Daniel apologized for Lily's boldness, but Eva smiled and invited them to sit. The cat jumped onto the chair next to her, purring softly, as though sealing a silent pact between them all. Over the next few weeks, Daniel and Lily became regulars at the bakery at the same time Eva visited, and the cat, whom Lily named Angel, was always there, sitting protectively by Eva's wheels as if watching over her. For the first time, Eva felt seen, heard, and valued. Daniel would share little stories from his carpentry work, Lily would make Eva laugh with her endless questions, and Angel would rest its head on Eva's lap whenever she grew quiet, grounding her back to the moment. But life was never that simple. When Richard discovered his daughter was spending time with a carpenter and his child, he was furious. He confronted Eva, telling her she deserved more, that she should not settle for a man with no money. But Eva, emboldened by Daniel's respect and Lily's love, refused to let her father dictate her heart. Richard tried to scare Daniel by threatening to pull strings to get him fired from his projects, but Daniel stood firm, saying he wanted nothing from Richard, only the chance to make Eva happy. The tension broke Eva's fragile world for a while, and she stopped going to the bakery, retreating back into her shell. But one rainy night, as thunder rumbled, Eva found Angel waiting at her doorstep, soaked and shivering. Something about the cat's presence reminded her she was not alone, and she wheeled herself through the rain to Daniel's small workshop, where Lily opened the door and threw her arms around her. That moment, wet and trembling, but smiling through tears, Eva chose them as her family. The next months were a quiet revolution. Richard eventually saw that Eva's happiness mattered more than his pride, and though he never said it aloud, he gave his reluctant blessing. The wedding was held at Sweet Memories Bakery, with Lily as flower girl, and Angel proudly wearing a tiny floral collar as though it had orchestrated the whole love story. Eva's smile that day was brighter than the sun streaming through the bakery windows. And when she looked at Daniel, she saw not just the man who loved her, but the life they had built together out of broken pieces. Years later, when their son Samuel was born, Angel curled up under the hospital crib, keeping watch as if guarding the new chapter of their lives. Eva, who once believed she was destined to be invisible, now sat surrounded by a family who loved her fiercely, and every time Angel brushed against her leg, she was reminded of the day everything changed, the day a little girl, a kind carpenter, and a stray cat taught her that even the loneliest hearts can find a home. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to my channel where I share more emotional and inspiring stories like this, because sometimes all it takes is one story to remind us we are never truly alone.